Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's over there. He's Andy Esimakis. How you doing, bro?
Ever play a game that reveals how sick and twisted your mind works?
Yeah, absolutely. I have played a game that reminds me of how twisted and sick your mind works. Correct.
I think this is the game.
Oh, okay.
That really showed me how things are really not wired properly.
Right. And
up there.
And a game called Death Trash. I could not think of a more apropos game for you to be connected to in my life. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Joining us this week is Christian Heusser, developer of Death Trash, a post-apocalyptic role-playing game where cosmic horrors crave humanity, but are met by punks with shotguns and, in my case, rifles. Christian, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure having you here.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is gonna be a great chat. Just like my real life, where I picked up Andy like the piece of trash he is, made him a part of this wonderful Dual Screens family. Started this with him. I have been picking up trash all afternoon in Death Trash, just blasting dudes in the face and picking up trash. But before we go ahead and talk about Death Trash, let's talk about the trash you're listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dual Screens. I'm on fire right now, Andy. I got to be honest.
Don't stop. Just keep at it.
This is the Dual Screens podcast, the internet's #1 indie developer interview podcast, starring two dudes you've never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every Friday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, and of course is in video form on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. If you like what you're listening to, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, or support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/NDS podcast, just like our 3 Patreon producers, which we are going to thank right now: Vegas Girl on Fire, Colton the Apprentice Nestler, and FNH Paul. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support. And as a reminder, we are killing one of the feeds that we have been on audio form. So if you are subscribed to us on audio, look at your subscription. Make sure you are subscribed to the one that is linked to our Podbean account. The other way you could verify it is look at the description. The description will say that we do Crossplay podcast and the Dual Screens podcast on the same feed, not Gamescast. Gamescast was our old show and is still being updated. That feed is still being updated on our previous host. So we want to make sure we migrate you over there before we terminate that. So please go ahead and do that. And now we're going to get right in. We're going to dive right in, Andy. I know you have a question because of how you've been fired up about this interview. Basically since last night, you've been messaging me back and forth. Andy, hit us up with our ceremonial first question.
God, there's so many things that come to mind when playing a game like this, but I think the one that is really pressing me is, how does one truly befriend a flesh kraken?
Those are deep. That's a deep question, Christian.
Tell me, Christian, what does it take for me to have this as a friend in my life?
I mean, it's already a hard question because the thing is, the fresh kraken is already looking for friends.
It is.
Okay.
He is, right? It's the first thing. One of the first things he says to you is,
right,
I need friends. Do you want to be my friend? So basically, the simple answer is just say yes.
You hear that, folks? That's life advice, folks. When a flesh kraken says, do you want to be friends? Just say yes. It's very, very simple. Now, Christian, before we dive in, before we get into a deep dive and start talking about everything that just stabs you right in the eyes with its visual just supremacy, can you tell everybody in a quick little elevator pitch, what is Death Trash?
So Death Trash is a post-apocalyptic RPG, 2D, isometric, very inspired by the old school pixel art RPGs, a la Fallout, Wasteland, Planescape Torment, but very much with a personality on its own and with some modern mechanics put into it, like real-time combat, these kinds of things.
Very cool. Yeah. Andy, I know you had a question. I saw I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, I also want to ask, how do you make a better Fallout than Bethesda? Because you've done something magical here.
It's pretty cool.
I feel is more addicting, more like engaging, and the world building alone here just sucks you right in, and I don't ever want to leave.
Even from the character creation.
Whatever is happening in this place, Steven, this is
Oh boy.
what my heaven looks like.
Oh.
Meat grows out of the ground in this game.
Yeah. Yep.
This is what paradise must be.
Paradise. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might be playing different games, but okay.
Meat everywhere.
There's meat everywhere. There's a lot of red and goopy stuff. Everything seems to be broken, but then you shoot it with a gun and it works. It's great. I love it.
I want to say, from our perspective, we're not building a better Fallout. We're not even trying to compare ourselves with Fallout.
That's why it works so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely. I mean, listeners, if you haven't played it, there is a demo out right now that you can give a try to. It instantly hits you in the face with its atmosphere. Instantly hit you right in the face, and you see yourself going into this universe and already with intrigue, a little bit of like apprehension because it's really kind of dark and a little bit gloomy. But you get into this world, and the first thing people are going to think is, oh, another post-apocalyptic game. But like from the word go, when you start talking to your first character that you interact with in the beginning, you realize, oh, this is a little bit different. This is showing us a different side of things where the player isn't necessarily in the middle of chaos. It's more like the player's in the middle of sort of being able to figure things out on their own. It's almost like a puzzle that's laid out before you. Where you're it's all intrigue. There's a carrot at the end of the stick from the second you start this game. And I think that's really intriguing. How important was it for you designing it that way, that a player starts and honestly, it's a very different way than I've started in a lot of these types of RPGs. What went into the beginning of this game, especially into the demo?
So here I have to explain a few things more, because
sure.
I only joined the game 1 year ago.
Okay.
So, and it's been in development for 5 years, basically by Stefan Hövelbrink's alone. And I'm the second person to actually join the development.
Cool.
There's also James the musician, and so on. And when I joined, this beginning was already there in a way. And for me, what stuck is this idea that the world is already established. The world, it's not like you're coming into the world right after the apocalypse happened and everything is in chaos.
Right.
The world is already a thing, and you're just joining from an outside perspective.
Right.
That's one of the comparisons to Fallout you can make, is that in the beginning you're thrown out of the society from bunker and you go out. I mean, we do it a bit differently, but it's a similar premise. And the world is already fully established. The society works. The people have their quirks, and what is normal and what isn't outside of you is already there. And I really love this feeling of discovering something that's true, more than figuring out how to deal with the post-apocalypse. So to me personally, that's actually a drive when designing new characters, new locations. Yeah.
What's it like for you because you say you joined this team like just a year ago, after it's been in the making for about 5 years, when you're asked to join this game's development and you're shown what this game is, what do you spoke out that said, you know what, I have to join this team and help make this game real?
I didn't say that.
That's a very simple answer.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, I joined this I study game design, game programming at the School for Game Design here, and one of my teachers knows Stefan and was like, you make your internship there. We have to do an internship. Go to him, make your internship. Stefan was a bit apprehensive, like, does he really need a second worker, or should he do this, continue this as a one-man show? I'm not really much of a role player, and I played it. I was like, okay, this game is cool. I like it. Like it's good, but it's also not a game I would buy.
Interesting. Okay.
And
Wow.
I told this to Stefan in the interview in the beginning. This is not a game I would buy unless I hear like people raving about how great it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's fair, especially if it's
Yeah.
not something that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And
but-
how did he respond to that?
Yeah.
he was a bit taken aback, but like at that point, it worked out. Somehow I landed with him. And it took like a week or two until I was fully inside the development. And for a beginner game developer, I am basically allowed to do anything within the game code. Like I can do my own stuff, which is a dream job. Like never seen before, never imagined I would land here. And by now, I actually love the game too. And I'm
Well,
fully in.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's
Right. So
that's kind of important.
so when all of the aggressive characters that try to kill you scream at you, "Eat shit, motherfucker," it's likely him going back to that interview,
Right.
and what he would like to have said to you when you were like, "I'm not gonna buy this game."
I mean, it would be fair enough.
By the way, that's the quote for the show, Steven. I wouldn't buy this game. We'll stamp
Oh
it.
God, no.
Put it on the side.
Oh, no.
God, no.
We don't want to get off on that foot with that. No. That's not how we want to go. So you come on about a year ago. What is your immediate contribution to the product?
So the first thing I did was looking at was just working myself into the game code, working myself into the engine, into his structures. The first thing that's still in there mechanically, like in the beginning, I played around with lots of stuff and none of it is left. But I think about 1 week in, I did the turrets,
Okay.
which are there are none in the demo. They come later, which is basically it's an enemy standing still and has a gun which points at you and shoots.
Yeah, I think the ones that you have in the beginning are melee, right? I think they're staying still, but they hit you melee. They don't shoot at you.
That's the robots. Yeah, now
Yeah.
we have like literal turrets, and
Yeah.
that was. I mean, I drew the pixel art for it. Which
nice.
has been replaced since, of course, because I just drew like a tripod, 3 lines, put a gun on it, pointed at the player, and did it. And I think my basic code I wrote for that is still in there, but the visuals have been completely replaced since.
So what is it like to what is the conversation when you're going into this already established code and you're just basically playing with it? Like how do you get that level of trust so quickly? Because like game code is like the baby.
Yeah. I think it helps that whatever I do, whenever I have a new idea to put in, whenever I try to do something different, whatever I put in is not already in there. I'm not replacing his stuff. I'm adding to it.
It's additive. Okay.
A lot of it, most of it is additive. Or when I come to a place where I have to say, okay, this needs to be changed, I just say it like, okay, here's the problem I have. Here's how I think I'll do it. Usually it's preceded by me looking just through the code for 3-4 hours just to figure out which pieces need to be replaced before I do anything.
Right.
And then I say, this is what I think is the problem right now. This is what I want to do. This is how I think I'll do it.
Okay.
And then Stefan is like, okay, you can, like, no problem. Or what also happens oftentimes is he already did something in that direction like 5 years ago and can tell me, no, look, here's another place you can use this. Or there's been some situations where I was like, okay, I don't get it. Here's what I want to do. Can you do this?
Got it.
That's how it turns out.
So it's a very symbiotic relationship right off the bat, where you know there's trust in you that you're not going to go in and undo something or change something that was already in place. And if you wanted to add something that needs to be addressed with previous code, you have a very good relationship where you could just go back and forth and say, hey, either you figured out, I figured out, point me in the right direction. That's pretty cool. That's very rare. Like you hear, especially solo devs, you hear how protective they are of their project. We've interviewed plenty where they get to the point where it's almost like a point of anxiety, just even getting one person to join their team and to help them out a little bit. And I mean, I think that's really cool that you were able to just get in there and kind of get your hands dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I wouldn't change anything about this work relationship we have right now. I think it helps that we are both somehow similar. We're both not extroverts.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't call us full-on introverts, shut-ins, but we're both a bit take it slow, take it calm, and it helps.
Of course. Yeah.
How much creative input do you have? Because I feel like a game where you walk around eating raw hunks of meat on the floor and there's a button that has like a puke on command.
Right. Yep.
And as you're coding and doing things, does like a light bulb go off and you say, oh, I have a fun idea that we could add to this game? Like, are you involved in those conversations as well, or is it just strictly on the coding side for Death Trash?
Oh, definitely involved in those ideas too. There's the one thing I've decided not to touch until explicitly asked is the main story, the main campaign.
Okay.
That's full his, because that's his baby. I'm not going to touch it unless he tells me, okay, I need you to do this, whatever. I'll give feedback, of course. Like, it's not he's alone, whatever, but I'll help, but I need to be asked. Everything else, if I have an idea, I usually if it's a quick thing, if it's a small thing I can implement in half an hour just for testing, like a proof of concept, I just do it and then show it to him. Sometimes I ask him, I'm trying to make an example which isn't too spoilery of what's to come. That's a difficult thing.
Slippery slope.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean, yeah, recently we've added in this ability to throw the worms.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this was an idea I had. I think I had it when I was watching one of the streamers before the demo was published.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I was watching it and he said something in that direction, and I was thinking like, okay, that might be something we could do, right? And then I told it to him once. I think it got forgotten afterwards. And after about a month or something like that, I was like, okay, I'm going to put this in the game right now just to see how it works, just to see if it works, how it looks. And I did, and it was fun, and now it's in.
That's very cool.
Simple. In and out.
Yeah.
I want to throw worms. We're throwing worms. Let's go. Moving on. Next problem.
You know, that whole like puke on command part is when I found out that I was a sick and twisted individual. Because for those who haven't played the demo yet, there's machines require like organic lubrication to run properly. And the first one that you come across and you're like, oh, it needs lubricant. And I was like, am I gonna fuck this machine right now? right where my mind went.
That's the first place you
and
went.
I was like, oh, I gotta throw up. Phew, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, what's wrong with me that I went to that place?
That is a rhetorical question.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. It's you know, coming across that, I was like, oh, that's that kind of game. I get it. I didn't go the whole fucking robots thing, but I did go to we're gonna be a little weird. This is cool. I like weird.
Yeah.
Weird is fun.
Yeah.
I think that's also the moment you know what kind of game this is.
Exactly.
It's like, because it happens in the tutorial, you know nothing about the game. This is when you decide whether you like the game or not.
I mean, I think with the name Death Trash, it's like you're there or you're not there. The name alone.
Yeah.
I was so like, the name just is like, how can I avoid playing this game that was such a badass title? I gotta play it. It's like a Death Trash. It's like a fucking rock band from like the 80s.
It
know?
is. Yeah. That's yeah, absolutely right. Death Trash opening for Gwar this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. So what happened? What happened in this apocalypse? I don't understand. Is it the trash? The trash took over? The trash. It was the trash planet. We are the trash.
We
are the trash. We are the death trash.
We are nothing but death trash for the giant meat blobs that want to devour.
I like that. You do pick up a lot of trash, and I've been wondering why picking up so much trash. Is this? Are we trying to be sneaky about teaching about picking up like litter bug after litter bugs? Is that what we're doing? Is this a campaign for environmental cleanliness?
I've proposed to do this as an achievement. I don't know if we'll do it, or if it just, because I propose it half jokingly, and I don't know myself if I'm taking myself seriously when I say these things. But like, what if we just do an achievement called Green Planet, pick up, I don't know, 200 pieces of trash or something?
Right.
I don't know.
I think you should go. You should partner with like an Green Earth, whatever, like organization, and get an official seal from them and make that like a Steam avatar. Like, I picked up trash in this virtual video game. Yay, I did it. Here's my seal of approval from like Greenpeace or whatever the hell they are. I think that'd be dope. Is that a little outside the box? I got my marketing pants on. You know what I mean? I got them PR.
I know
pants.
what you mean, but it's one of these things where I can fully see this aspect working with something like Greenpeace, but as soon as it's like, yeah, but you're also running around and you can just kill everything.
Sure.
And it's blood everywhere.
Sure.
Would any organization actually like to associate themselves with us?
Well, you know what though? Like, the less people out there, the less carbon emissions. So maybe
we've learned that the hard way.
It's
the
part and parcel with the messaging.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the plan going forward as far as, like, I mean, it's 5 years, 6 years. You got your demo out. Are you still in a feedback gathering period here? Are you, a home stretch type situation? What are we at right now in our plan?
So this game is coming to early access on August 5th.
Cool.
So
right around the corner.
Very
at
soon.
the time of recording, that's 2 more weeks. Not even.
Yeah, which is going to be probably when the show comes out, if I remember correctly. Let me see. This show is coming out on the 6th.
We'll have this out right when the game is
so
on early access.
so this game came out yesterday. Great.
Yesterday. Yep, there you go.
And
Travel. We did it.
Right.
Wow. How's the reception been from yesterday? What do you plan? Like, what are you hoping to get back from early access? Because a lot of developers have different expectations when they go into early access. Some of them want like the money. The money is very important. Getting some sort of revenue stream so that they could continue to get that final push. Others are looking for like literally having players influence the direction of the game, the gameplay mechanics, the pacing, stuff like that. What are you guys in tune for? What are you hoping you get out of this early access situation?
So, feedback. One thing, money is always good.
Right, of course.
I don't need to sugarcoat this. Money is a good thing to have in game dev.
Sure.
Game dev is expensive, whatever. But also feedback. We're both not experienced game devs, I would say.
Okay.
And there's a lot of unknown variables in how do things feel. How does it feel for you as a player to play this game?
Right.
We're currently working a bit on changing how a certain type of weapon plays. I'm not gonna say much more. And it's we have our testers already, which which have access to this part of the game, and they play it and they tell us like, okay, this direction is better than that one. Like I made a full-on level where there's these different weapons, and they can go there and test them out and tell me this feels better than that one, but I could see that other one in that situation, whatever. And this is something I'm looking forward to. And another thing that's more for me personally, that's not positioned as a company or whatever. That's my what I'm actually hoping to get most out of
Speaking
this.
for yourself, yeah.
Speaking for myself, out of this early access is I'm writing a lot of the side content.
Okay.
And one of the things I'm looking for is that the decisions that you can make all the decisions you want to instinctively.
Explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
I can tell you where it didn't work or where this motivation comes for me. In Fallout New Vegas,
Love that game.
There's the famous mission with the cannibal hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where there's the old couple outside who said their son went inside to the rich guy and didn't come back. Something like this. And then you go inside and the old couple's son is captured in the cellar, and you can free him or you can feed him to everybody, something like that.
Okay.
And
incredible.
My instinct there was, okay, what if I took somebody who's close to the rich guy and fed him to the rich guy, and I would be kind to this nice old couple out there and be evil to the evil guy while also being a monster because I support cannibalism.
Sure.
And I mean, this mission has like 20 different outcomes in what you can do, and it's really amazing. But that one gut reaction for how I want to resolve this problem wasn't there. And that's something that if we have an early access with people giving feedback, with people telling like, okay, I went there and I couldn't play through this situation as a vegan.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Okay.
We've had people write to us like, will there be a way to play this?
A vegan option.
A vegan option to play this game. Yeah. And we like, I really like this idea of a vegan option because it actually fits somewhat to this theme of there's meat everywhere. How do people eat? What is the place of meat in this society? Right. And like, what if I want to be evil to that guy, but I don't want to kill everybody? And these kind of things I wish to hear from people who get the game in early access.
That's so funny because our friends at Megacat Studios, they came out with a game called Bite the Bullet, which was all about eating and using that to mutate and to get energy or whatever. It's a really cool system, but they do vegan options. They also do like machine options where you could eat machines. So they have like machines, meat, and vegetables and fruit. It's really, really, really cool. But like you also have, and they're all skill trees and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see things like that because some people are, they want to eat some veggies. They want to eat some cucumber. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Andy. When I first met Andy, I was a vegetarian.
You were, and I'm not sure why we're friends after that. But
that's disrespectful, Andy.
You were just more. You were more than your eating habit. I saw past that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a vegetable stir fry, Andy. Nothing wrong with that. A little extra firm tofu, a little teriyaki sauce. Come on, man.
Yeah, that is because you guys are really trying to push for like complete player freedom in this game. You're trying to give them like, if they were actually living in this world, if they can think of a solution or a way out, the game will allow you to do it.
There's some obvious limitations because we are only two people. We can't do real life in your computer. Like we're gonna hit some walls.
I'm just kidding.
Can I bang my way out of this situation?
Can you use fornication to your advantage? I mean, they're robots. Most of the people that are keeping you from going places.
Human beings. They're all assholes.
They're all jerks. Every one of them, so far anyway. Good question, Andy. Good question, Andy.
Yeah. But how do you find that balance? Because I've seen you can have runs where you are very sort of docile and you get along with all the NPCs, but you can also kill every single NPC in this game. How does that affect how the story unfolds, how the end game looks like? How do those components, without giving away too much, how does that even work when you have that level of freedom?
From a mechanical standpoint.
Right.
I'm a big proponent of, if you kill a story NPC, you just don't get the information.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go, I guess like we have some assumptions of how players are gonna approach this game the first time, maybe the second time of when they go through it. So the first experience you have is one we somewhat plan for you, we somewhat guide you through. The second one, you already have all the infos, right? You already know where it's going. So we don't need to tell you everything.
Right.
So we just need to make sure everything is accessible to you. But if you miss it, well, you missed it.
Mm-hmm. I like that. It's a lot of replayability there.
Yeah.
You know, Christian, I'm wondering, when you boot up this game and you do a fresh run, what does your character creation look like? Where are your stats going? Where are those juicy points being allocated to?
I haven't played the game really in a long time.
Oh.
Since about a month before the demo, everything was focused on just making things run technically on everything. And after the demo came out, there were bugs on some hardware and not another. And so now it's calmed down again. And yesterday the game came out. So
yesterday.
Wow. That's right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So, wow. I'm surprised by how much replayability people already find in the demo, because I was thinking that currently there isn't that much different ways to play it. I myself always put everything into strength, blades, and rifles, and just gun through it.
God.
Yeah.
No room for
brutal.
like it just shoot first, ask questions never.
No nuance. No nuance whatsoever. Just kicking
just
doors in
through
and
it,
just kicking
finish
ass.
But I should try it again once again, like the clean run of everything. But yeah, usually during development, I just turn invincibility on, like pull the cheats, whatever, just to get where I need to check something, to test something.
I mean, that's fair. You're looking at it through a different lens, but I imagine, I mean, going back to what you said in the beginning, this wasn't your cup of tea. This isn't something that you really like, but then you wound up falling in love with it and really enjoying it. What was it that pulled you to that other end? What can we, for example, some of our listeners, this may not be their cup of tea. Why should they give it a chance?
I don't know what in the end pulled me in.
Was it the fact that you were getting paid?
It was never about, no, definitely not.
You shill!
I would work for this game for free by now. I don't care about the money
Wow.
anymore. No, yeah. On one hand, it's just seeing my work in there.
Sure.
It's certainly an aspect, certain, I don't know, arrogance, whatever. I'm proud of what I do for this game. I think what also helps is I am very much a point and click adventure gamer. Point and click and puzzle games. And I think what warmed me up to this game really is seeing the influences from something like the Monkey Island games.
Right.
In there with how the dialogues work. Yeah.
Right.
It's not a traditional point and click, but you have such a deep explorative thread in there that it almost feels like it's mimicking one of those, but in a very, very unique way. More fast paced, a little bit less brainy, and more so just it's explorative. It's going in there and figuring out through environmental storytelling, really what's going on and where you're going to kind of fit in that story. And it varies from room to room. Every room was like, oh, I wonder what's in here. Oh, trash. Yes, I got more trash. But like then you start getting a weapon. You start getting this tech that you don't really know what it is. But I assume down the line you're gonna either unlock mechanically or just in your own head. Hey, aha! Now I get what this thing is for. That's very cool. Can you go into a little bit? Can you go into the loot mechanics, like the actual the loot grind? Like what kind of stuff can we look for? Is this going to be your traditional type of RPG where you're just getting all different stuff and you're just mixing and matching? Is there a deep crafting system or anything like that? Like, can you go into that a little bit for our listeners?
We're still figuring stuff out on that front.
Okay.
One thing that's big is your inventory is quite limited. I mean, I think it already can run full during the demo, and it's not it's questionable if it's gonna get bigger. If so, how? Like,
Right.
people have requested to add a backpack so I can have more stuff.
Right.
And I think inventory management is gonna be a factor in the long term, especially since you have different weapons with different ammunition, but everything takes up a slot in your inventory.
Right.
So you're gonna have to be careful as it looks right now. Like that's also a point with early access. It can change over time,
Right?
With based on the feedback we get. But as it looks right now, you'll actually have to look at what you loot and be and actively decide on whether you'll take it with you right now or whether you come back for it later if you can.
Right. Yeah, that adds a little bit of another layer of intrigue, a little layer into the role playing as well. I'm a proponent of limitations make creativity, and as a player, putting that limitation on a player can give creative ways for us to play those characters. I think that's really cool. I mean, I could see how it could be a little bit frustrating if you're like the kind of player I am. I pick up everything and then I hoard everything and then I make a conscious decision. Okay, anything that's common or uncommon, I'm selling or scrapping. And then but I still pick them all up and I do it and I just hoard all this materials and like
you're describing how I play Skyrim.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly like that. That's what I do. You know, that's the way I play.
I'm all for having no backpack and having like a very finite number of item slots, but just give me like a sorting button.
Sorting. There you go.
I gotta know, like, have things streamlined so I know what I'm looking at and just piles of trash on the screen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, well that's those are the kinds of things that you could probably look forward to when you as of yesterday, getting that kind of feedback. Like you're gonna feel there are gonna be people that are going to be throwing ridiculous things at you, things that you've tried already for 3 years, all this stuff. What is your loop going to look like for when you start getting that feedback? Are you looking for specific things to improve immediately and you're going to prioritize? Or are you going to have somebody sift through it and say, here's the bullshit pile, here's the actually intriguing pile? What's your approach going to be for that? I've always been curious about this, especially with smaller teams, because it's overwhelming. I can imagine.
It's a lot. We already had this with the demo. Like in the demo, you can press F1 and send us feedback, and it's not going to be different for the full release. Like you can always
keep
just
it there.
say
That's
this
good.
and give us your opinion.
That's awesome.
And this comes to us in a Trello board.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
What we're already doing is, or what I've started doing is, something is not an opinion in regards to the game, right? It's just like we get a lot of thank you, this is awesome. Always feels great to receive these. These are great, but we don't really need to keep them.
Sure.
So those get set. I always hesitate to delete them, but they need to be deleted just to make the room.
Just like your inventory in the game.
Yeah, like it's so
I
much.
see now. It's all coming together, Andy.
Art imitating life. Yes,
Indeed.
yes.
Same with like, but we also get some negative stuff. Also, just delete it. With these, I don't need to think about it, at least,
Right.
Because like this is, yeah. And then we have this huge pile of actually technical feedback we can use. And we go through it and figure out what is the trend, what are the connections. Like, is something a singular opinion held by one person? Is it something I agree from my experience with the game? Is it something my gut feeling tells, yeah, this is right, this actually needs to be done, why haven't we done this?
Right.
Or is it like something where I heavily disagree, but here's 500 people telling me that they need this feature? Which was something with which has also happened in the demo now with the fast traveling. Where we are like, yeah, this game doesn't need faster traveling. This is a slow game. This is deliberate. You need it. But there's so many people telling us, hey, we want. Some people say we want the mini map to immediately teleport us there. Some people tell us, I want a map from my menu to everywhere in the world, whatever. Our solution was to make these teleporting stones around the world map, which you first need to discover.
Yeah, that's a happy medium for sure.
That's the medium.
Yeah.
Some people proposed to us the one from Fallout, where when you enter the map, you can see where you were. So that's our solution to really a lot of people requesting this feature.
So you said, we look at this, we look at that. Are you guys physically sitting there in the Trello and reading everything yourselves? Do you have somebody kind of curating that list for you and then saying, all right,
we're reading it ourselves?
You hear that, folks? That's dedication. Now, I'm not trying to be a goofus about this, but I'm gonna just say it. That is what makes indie gaming so special. EA, Activision, all of them, they could all put out these open betas. They're not changing anything. They're just doing that to stress test servers or whatever. They're not doing that. They're doing that to gauge engagement and interest, to see where they're going to allocate their marketing bucks. They don't give a shit what you think about their game. They don't. They have your pre-order money. They have their forecast of sales. But indie developers, what makes it so freaking cool, and especially the more relationships that we foster with the indie development community, this is what makes it great. It's the fact that your opinions actually do matter. They're being read, and in a lot of cases, they're being implemented in some way. You got to support the indies, man. You have to. And there's no better way to do it than to play these demos in early access games and help foster a relationship between player and developer. It's so fantastic. It really is. What do you, Andy, do you have any final questions before we get into our wonderful rapid fire section?
I feel like it's a standing ovation moment for you there.
Thanks. I'm really, that was nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's just so awesome. Like, we've done a lot more of these interviews recently than we have like maybe last month. Like we got really ahead for June, and July kind of slowed down because we had so many episodes in the can, and now we're catching up again, and we're just interview, and just seeing the relationships and what developers have gone through over the past 18 months. I'm sorry, I'm on a soapbox right now, but it's amazing to see how much work that not only are developers like yourself, Christian, how much work you're willing to put into it, but how many of you do it like balls to the walls, selflessly, with no seemingly no end in sight, and you just go for it, and the people respond to that, and that's really cool. It's just awesome to see that.
Yeah, I love how the people are like, that was the thing with the Trello board. When we started the demo, we were prepared to shut this feature down. We were prepared to be like, okay, people are just shooting at us with with abuse, whatever. It's the internet. You know, you don't know what happened. There's toxic people out there. I have no idea what's coming for us. We were really, really anxious. And it's just proven so useful that I do want to keep this going. We do want to we both want to do this, keep this going like this. Yeah.
Awesome. Andy.
Oh, I'm ready.
It's time, man. It is time. Ready. We have officially hit the 45-minute mark, which means we need to go. We need to start bringing this bad boy home with our rapid fire section of the show. Now, Christian, this is where we are going to get to know you. That's right, the real you, whatever makes you tick, what's inside this old cabeza, as it were. We're going to learn all about you and possibly about each other, Andy, as we always do. Every week we learn something about each other.
We really do.
Where these questions come from. So it's very simple. We're going to ask you questions. Some of them are binary, like this or that. Some of them are just give us something off the top of your head, and you just answer them. And so here we go. We're going to give you an easy one. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Rather not.
That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer. All right, Andy.
Power of flight or invisibility?
That's another good one.
Ooh. Let's take power of flight.
All right.
That's fair. Teleportation or time travel?
Teleportation.
Okay, that's fair.
What is something that you believe in without any evidence of?
It's deep. I found a new one. I think I have a new answer for this, Andy.
Oh, did you?
I do. I believe that if you step on a crack in the sidewalk, it gives you bad luck. There's no evidence to that.
No.
But I believe it. Superstition.
But not breaking your mama's back. Just bad luck in general.
Nah, because my mom's had a good back, you know.
Okay.
Something that I believe without evidence. That's hard because I want to say that everything.
You got under the skin here, Andy. You got deep in the
epidermis. I think that's also kind of an answer, because if you need evidence for all the things in your life,
I want to say I have sufficient evidence for everything I believe, but there's the point where I don't need more evidence than somebody who knows something telling me it is true.
Okay.
I don't need a lot of evidence to believe in things, but everything I believe is based at least to some degree on evidence.
So if someone goes to you like, Christian, I saw a UFO the other day and aliens came and took me in the sky and anally probed me, you'd be like, wow, aliens are real. And they're a threat to my anus.
If you tell it to me and I trust you, then yes.
Okay.
Then I'll believe
There it is.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Andy. He doesn't trust us with that yet. So keep those stories to yourself. Keep them in your old bean up there between your ears.
All right. You'll all see.
If you can swap and start a different career, what would you want to do and why?
I don't want to. I don't want to change. I want to do this what I'm doing right now earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a really good answer.
That's a good answer.
I like that answer.
Good answer.
Yeah.
If you could only eat one kind of raw meat for the rest of your life, and you had to, it was like, this is your sentence for whatever thing you did. You have to consume raw meat, but only one kind of raw meat. What kind of raw meat would that be? Chicken, ground beef, duck,
ground beef
wabbit. What would you pick as your raw meat of choice? And there's no vegan option in this question either.
Yeah. No, there's like two completely different options for me right now. The one is my life gonna otherwise continue like it is right now? Because then I'm gonna go.
No, you won't die or get any kind of bad reaction. It's just you have to consume the raw meat.
Let's take beef.
Beef.
It's
All
simple, you know. It's got flavor as it is. Like chicken.
Where's
just
the
doesn't-
beef?
I would probably go with. I don't know if this counts though, Andy. Do hot dogs count? Because you don't technically have to cook them.
Well, they are cooked essentially ish before they get to
they're
you.
kind of cured. They're not. It's like they just salt the
Sure.
shit out of it.
Right. But still, to some degree, it's a little bit ready-ish, you know.
All
Got
right.
those juices, you know.
Andy and I, we're hanging out, right? We've become very good friends. The three of us, we're buds. Okay, we're super buddies. Okay, Christian, this is gonna be a tough one for you. The phone rings. It is a detective. Andy and Steve have been arrested. What is our crime?
Oh.
I like this do spin. I dig it. I really dig it.
What crime have you committed?
What did we do? Just look at our dumb faces. What do we look like we do? What I mean, Andy, it's easy. You'll look at him. Just look at him. Look at him.
I mean,
Criminal. Look at,
you broke into something.
I broke into
Like,
something.
Not,
Okay.
not a bank or a financial institution, more like a toy store or something like
Yes.
that. And
He
you
knows
were-
us.
and you were mostly found out because you were sleeping in the children's area.
Oh, yeah.
It's
okay.
it's like an autobiography.
You're in my soul right now. This is weird.
It's like he's reading our memoirs.
I fell asleep in the toy section of Target. It's weird. How did I get in here?
You know, we didn't touch on this on the game side because there is a local co-op function for Death Trash. Hint, hint, wink, wink, Steven. What is your favorite co-op game, Christian, of all time?
I'm not much of a co-op player. I have to say the Portal co-op.
Portal
Oh,
Co-op
okay.
is fantastic.
Portal.
That-
What an
that-
experience that is.
That's a lot of fun.
That is a great experience.
Very much fun. I haven't played many other co-ops. That's the problem.
You're probably better off. Friends are, just it's overrated. Don't worry about
which
it.
is why when the cops call, he's
Right.
like, "What do you need? I'll identify them in a heartbeat."
Yeah. Steve was caught in the toy store again. I got it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's fair. If you can run away and live anonymously in another country, which country would you choose? No trouble. You're not going to be like on the lam. You're going to get you're going to get a new identity, new everything. You're protected. It's fine. You just go live somewhere else.
I mean,
Start over.
Start over. Back in Switzerland because that's where I'm from and I like it there.
That's fair. Hey, that's a fair answer.
Yeah,
You know, change your identity, maybe shave your mustache. You know,
that's gonna happen soon anyway.
we'll call you Sven or something. That's not bad.
Yeah, you could like you have the look for like a total like spy thing. You could like just shave it all off and like a whole different person happens
You're like the
that
Winter
happened-
Soldier.
under all that hair.
Yeah.
That happened like I'm a lazy person. I cut my hair when it annoys me,
Sure.
Yep, I can relate.
which has happened half a year ago. So for the last half year, I actually want to cut my hair, but it's Corona stuff. Getting
Can't go to the barber.
What's the English word?
Yeah, I think mine is when I can eat some of the beard.
That's a
Yeah.
problem.
Mustache.
That's a problem.
I feel like it's time to
Yeah.
go see someone for help.
Christian, what is your favorite scent?
I really like flower shampoos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy, let's get a couple more questions and then we'll get out of here.
All right, let's see. All right, so it's been 1 day since Death Trash has come out,
It has. How's the
and
feedback
it's getting amazing. It's getting amazing feedback. It's on every major outlet's headline: Death Trash Game of the Year, like
Oh, snap.
contender, and you are beyond ecstatic, you're overjoyed, you're happy,
Absolutely.
We assume
and you're doing a lot of heavy drinking to celebrate.
super heavy drinking.
What word best describes you, Christian, when you've had a little bit too much to drink?
More talkative,
Talkative.
talkative, and happy.
And happy. Wow. A happy slosh.
A happy chatty drunk. I love it.
Indeed. Indeed. You dive out of an airplane to go parachute down into the earth. It's fun. You've done it 1,000 times before. You're a professional. You pull your chute. It doesn't come out. You pull your backup chute. It doesn't come out. What is the first word you scream at the top of your lungs?
Fuck.
And that is the exact delivery too.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
It's just fuck.
Ah, fuck. Damn it. God damn it.
yeah. It's,
Well,
I mean, English isn't my native language, but
Even better.
But fuck is a
It's
word
such a
I
good word.
actually use so often.
yeah, it's a good word.
How do you say fuck in your native language?
I say the English word fuck.
Right, but
I mean, the German correspondence would be scheiße, which is
Right.
actually shit.
Shit,
But,
yeah.
I use the word fuck more often than shit. Yeah.
That's solid. Andy, why don't you get us our ceremonial final question that we can get out of here, do our housekeeping, and get on with playing
Start
Death Trash.
using the word scheisse more often.
Scheiße Damut!
It's a fun word. All right, Christian. This is it. This is the last question. This is the ultimate question. This is the one that's going to make or break
Everything.
your career, your
Everything.
success, all of it, your future love life, relationships. It all hinges on this last question.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird, Andy.
You know what? Every time it gets weirder and weirder, so might as well
That's fair.
just go with it at this point.
Yeah, I guess so.
And the last question is, it's a choice actually.
Binary.
And that choice is Andy or Steven.
I think I'll take Steven.
There you go.
Booyah! See, the
There you
camera is all the difference, folks. If you stop catfishing people, put your real face out there, somebody's going to find you and love you for who you are. Do it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring us to the end of this wonderful, wonderful show. If you want to follow us on social media, I am at Batchild27. Andy is at PantsGuy. I almost forgot my own Twitter. We are at Duel_screens. You can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/DS podcasts. And again, if you want to join our VIP Discord, you have to be a Patreon member, which you could join at patreon.com/NDS podcast. Thank you, Andy. Now, Christian, where can everybody find everything there is on the social media? Where can they follow you? Where can they follow Death Trash? Give us everything.
So the most important thing is Death Trash is deathtrash.com, the website where there's links to everywhere. There's the Death Trash Discord where both Stefan and I are active in, the Death Trash Twitter account, which you can follow at Death Trash. There's a Death Trash Facebook group, also great. Me personally, I'm the Hriggu, also THECHRIGGU on Twitter and on the Discord. Not really. I don't care about. I'm not really too active personally, but yeah.
It's a lot to juggle. It's no worries.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Andy, we have hit 700 subscribers today.
Oh my God.
It happened today.
Look at us. Look at us.
Which is 2 weeks ago from when you were listening to this, listener.
I know.
So 2 weeks ago. So if we're
So
less than
goddamn
that,
good.
something horrible has happened between now and then. Perhaps the floor meat trash apocalypse has happened. We don't know. We don't know. Either way, this is going to get scheduled to post. So you're going to get it as long as there's internet somewhere. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everyone. And as always, please be excellent to each other.